Sons talking about ex's new wife and baby are driving me insane. Lord help me, this is probably more of a rant than anything, but I'll take any of y'all's advice. Anyway, Lord save me. I can't stand listening to my sons talk about my ex's new wife and the damn baby they have on the way. First of all, I'm 99% sure this woman slept with my ex while we were still married. I can't prove it, and he says there was no overlap between the relationships, but I really don't see how a man could just up and leave after 7 years with no other woman and then all of a sudden, 6 months later, pretty little Claudia conveniently comes into his life and they start dating. Of course the boys love her right away and cut to a year later and now they're married. So I'm sorry, I don't believe there wasn't overlap, lol. Anyway, back to the point of this. Now pretty little princess is pregnant, and of course it's a girl. My boys are over the moon and I just can't stand hearing about it. How they're getting to help decorate the nursery, help name it. Oh my god, it's non-stop when they're at my house. I know I can't tell them to shut up, but I want a lol. Today one of them asked me if when the baby was old enough if she could have sleepovers at our house. I was like, no, I don't think so. My ex and I don't talk aside from things about the boys, and Claudia avoids me like the plague, even though she invited me to her baby shower, which I thought was laughable and so awkward. Anyway, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this until the baby is born. Hopefully once my sons realize the kid isn't going to be much fun for the first year, they'll finally shut up about her. I take it that because your kids are talking non-stop that you have created a safe environment where they feel about to talk openly. Kudos to you if this is the case. Now the thing is, your feelings are valid, but now it is getting to a stage where it could become apparent to your sons, and that goes away. Would you want your sons to come and not talk to you about what is going on in their lives, what is important to them? Before you very valid feelings create an atmosphere where this causes them to stop speaking up, I would suggest spending time with trusted friends to vent and get advice. It seems that the stepmom has gone out of the way to make your sons feel wanted. She has involved them in the process, which is also a good thing. It seems you both want the same thing, happy boys. Can I just say, as a kid who had a mother who made it perfectly clear how much she despised my dad and stepmom, thank you for setting some boundaries with your boys. I know you say you want to tell them to shut up, but the fact is you're not. You're operating some restraint, and even though you're furious, you're not dragging them into that resentment. So that's good. You have to keep protecting them from this. Raise them right and they'll grow up to appreciate that. You'll probably feel this resentment for a while. Keep going to therapy. Keep doing the work and look after yourself. I know it seems impossible now, but there is a future you that can exist that feels completely neutral towards your ex and his partner. The opposite of love isn't hate. It's indifference. Others have already pointed out the borderline misogynistic comments you've made, so I won't add to that. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt that you're just venting. I just want to say, good for you. You are venting anonymously to a group of strangers on the internet. Instead of lashing out, losing it at your kids. Your feelings are valid, and so is your restraint. I can't even imagine how annoying this all is for you. And you know it isn't your kids' fault, and you have clearly done a great job in hiding any issues with your ex, because your children feel safe talking about them so much. And with so much joy. You are doing great. You just need a break and an outlet for your feelings. If you have friends or family, plan a weekend away, or even a spa day, and tell them you are going to be venting and you need a safe place to just let loose. You also need some time to just rest and recharge. You may want to consider therapy, even if just for the next 6 months, to help you get it all out and find coping mechanisms. You are feeling burned out from sucking it all up. You realize that it is actually good that your kids have good relationships with your ex and almost new sibling. But it can still hurt and be annoying. So take some steps to not let this continue to fester and ease how much it annoys you before you snap. Have you gone to therapy after your divorce? If not, then it will be helpful to heal and process things. The little girl is innocent in all this, and she's your son's half-sister. They deserve to have a relationship with her, and it's best to try and process that before they get older. My kids are 13 and 15. Their father had a girlfriend they really likes and started to confide in, and I got so jealous. I didn't know how to handle it at first, but I realized that it was my feelings. My kids' feelings towards me had not changed. They had got one more person to love and be loved by. After I accepted that, it became so much easier. Of course you're allowed to feel these feelings on the inside. But, I think you need more therapy. The opposite of love isn't hate. It's apathy. You're not there yet. The kids need to be able to talk to you. So you need to let them. It's gonna be difficult. Rally family, friend, and therapy support. Look, even if there was overlap, it's done now. I know it's hard, but it sounds like you're having trouble accepting the new reality of your life. Does it suck? Yes, absolutely. But is it going to go back to how it was? No. Not sure if you have tried acceptance and commitment therapy specifically, but it might help. You're actually mad at your ex, not your kids. But he's not there. So I think there is a bit of misplaced anger. Because you can't even get that mental space away from the situation with him and feelings about the situation. Because your kids bring up that situation. In terms of how to deal with the kids always bringing it up, all I can suggest is change the subject. Maybe you can start something special with the kids. So when they go to their dad, then dad has to hear all about this amazing new thing they're doing with you. Sorry, I can't be specific about what that is. I have very limited experience with kids. I'm so sorry that you're hurting. I completely understand why, and your feelings are so very valid. I'm a stepmom, so I'm on some step-parenting subreddits. And they are just full of resentful people who hate their stepchildren and make sure they know it. I've also seen endless posts on this very sub along the lines of, my partner is awful to my children. Your children loving this new woman in their life must feel painful and a betrayal. I get that, but trust me, it's better than the alternative. It is very understandable that you are angry, hurt, jealous and annoyed by the situation. It is a very complex one. And most people would feel the same way you do. Depending on how old your boys are, you could be honest with them that the baby talk is to be enjoyed at your ex's house, but not at yours. Also, you are under no obligation to host and babysit the new child. Your ex's life is separate from yours. The only obligation you have is to communicate childcare needs, whom he marries, how many children he has, what he buys, etc. is his problem, not yours. You won't be happy until you stop caring. Focus on your life and how you want to move forward. Best revenge in life is one well lived. Focus on yourself and your own happiness. Maybe even start dating yourself. Just keep doing what you are. And that is keeping the resentment from your boys. I know this is easier said than done, but you have got to stop caring about the ex. He doesn't care about you, so it's just wasted emotion and energy. Take all the emotion and energy and give it back to yourself. Find some new friends, hobbies, get a makeover, and just do things that bring you personal happiness. Make new goals. Be your best self and have a fulfilling life. That's all you can do. Throw away the bitterness, anger, hurt, and toxicity that was your ex. He doesn't deserve a single ounce of energy from you anymore. Also, maybe each time the kids bring up new baby and stepmom, Redirect the conversation to another topic. That might help while you work on moving on. Please, now moving on will always take time because you were with him, invested in that for many years. The more power you take back and the more you do for yourself, focusing on your happiness, it will come. Just takes time. I am so sorry you're struggling, and as many have said, you are valid in these feelings. I hope you're able to work through them for your sons. My dad's cheated on my mom with my stepmother and then cheated on my stepmother. I have had zero contact with my father for years. Because when he cheated on my stepmother, I knew my mother hadn't lied about him cheating. Over 3/4 of people that cheat once will do it again. So trust me, your exes eventually cheat on her too. It might take a few years, but he will eventually. My father was faithful for the first 10 years of marriage to my stepmother, but he did eventually cheat on her with a younger woman, while my stepmother was grieving the death of her mom that had died from cancer, and then blamed her for him cheating because she was crying too much. To be blunt, your argument that there had to be overlap is flimsy at best. I understand divorce is hard. Lived it. But you need to make peace with the fact your marriage is over and that your ex has found happiness. The best thing we can hope for in divorce is that whatever partner our exes choose will love our kids and be a positive influence. If they like her, that is a great thing. The fact that they are excited to have a sister and not resentful is also great. Right now your view on this is toxic. So please find a way to peace. For your sake and your kids. You do not have to be friends with your ex's partner. But you don't have to treat her like an enemy either. Your kids will suffer if you do. Good luck. I'm sure this is tearing your heart out. I'm so sorry it must hurt so much. This wasn't fair to you. However, please don't alienate the boys from their new sister. Those sibling relationships are precious. If all goes well, those kids will be there for one another long after your ex and Claudia are gone. Give them as much family as you can. Even if this hurts like hell to do that right now, I know you will find someone else. 2. Your turn is coming, and then you can offer even more joy to your sons. Again, I'm so sorry about the divorce and then watching this unfold. Hang in there. You're stronger and tougher than you know. You're still grieving, and more than likely grieving the possibility of a future with someone in your head that probably wouldn't have turned out the way you pictured it based on what you've stated about him possibly cheating this whole time. Give yourself the time to heal and move on. Love on your sons. And remember that if he can do this to you, he can do this to her. And their relationship probably isn't all rainbows and butterflies. Or won't be at some point if he's that type of person. It's good your children can speak openly about it with you. And you should be proud of yourself for letting them feel that way. Personally, my ex only speaks negatively about myself and husband to our son during the little amount of time he has with him. He cheated, was abusive, got into drugs, etc. His bitterness only pushes our son away from him, doing the opposite of what he wishes it would do. One day you'll wake up and it'll be like the clouds all disappeared and you can see the situations straight without intense emotions, and you'll see how great you have got it and perhaps even find a new partner. Don't sit and stare at the past anymore. Yeah, this I tough. Went through a similar situation. Just gotta bear it. Not so sure your husband finding someone 6 months after divorce is proof of infidelity though. I would try to let go of that resentment. My daughters talked about my ex's new BF a lot for a while, but it eventually stopped being so frequent, and I actually made it a point to try and make my time with them so fun that they talk about me when they go back. Lol, that was my way of coping. JFC, these comments are so aggressive and mean. Not once has Op stated they have made these feelings known, especially to her kids, and she is here to vent and ask for advice. Y'all are seriously being unnecessarily cruel and just trying to tear her down instead of help. Up. I see you're in therapy, which is a great start. Surround yourself with a strong support system who you can lean on and vent to. And keep a smile on your face when your kids want to talk about their new sister. And whatever anyone says here, you do not need to interact with the new baby. It's not necessary at all. My sister was Claudia's daughter. In my case it was my stepdad. And my dad never once had to interact with her, and we had a fantastic relationship with her. Your kids will understand that she is not your daughter and she stays with her mommy and daddy at their house. Do not let anyone make you feel like you have to have her at your house or anything. Stay strong up. Unfortunately, the new woman and kid are there to stay. Your boys seem to be happy and I take it they're young. Let them talk and after a few minutes change the subject to something else that they like. And no matter what anyone says, as long as you don't mistreat the baby or keep your kids away from her, she never has to come to or stay at your home. Your peace in your home should be your priority. They can visit her at their dad's house. Edit. Continuing therapy would be a good idea. People are overreacting like wild in these comments. Your kids feel comfortable enough to talk about their new sister with you. That doesn't mean that you can't have emotions towards someone who flipped your life upside down. You're a human being, you can have feelings. 6 months gap. It could be true.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.